Dot.
Is she hiding again? Or did she dig herself out again?
I don't know.
No, come sit over here. Over here. See, there's our kittens.
And there's Sky.
Your mama. So that little white one is that black one?
About 2 months ago.
In August, she had her litter in our corner under one of our drills, and then last month.
And I know we talked about routine being critical for your sons, and can y'all just talk about, if you can, compare your feelings now to that of, say, like a month ago or back in August? You know, as far as how I don't know if relieved is the right word, but basically, you know,
Calmer.
calmer, yeah.
Calmer is it, because before we had housing, it's like every night they would say, okay, where are we staying tonight? What are we eating tonight? Where are we getting our clothes done? Where is our stuff? What can we be on? What can we do? And since we've had the trailers here, which is a huge thing, it's like, okay, you know where your bedtime is, you know where you're sleeping, you know where your clothes are, you know where the food is. We've got a mini fridge, we've got a mini refrigerator, or a mini freezer. Our refrigerator's coming in 2 weeks, so being able to know where your food is and where your dishes are, it helps everybody. I mean, it helps everybody knowing where you're going to be and what you're going to do, because you don't have that anxiety of what's happening with the Asperger's and the autism. The emotional side of it is, they don't have less emotions. They just have less ability to process those emotions, which is, a lot of people see autistics as just very cut and dry, no emotions. No, they're dealing with so many emotions underneath that they shut down. And so we were seeing a lot of angry outbursts, a lot of anxiety outbursts, a lot of just craziness for everybody. Not just, well, I mean everybody, because I'm the only one that's not. So now that everybody knows what the routine is, where everything is, it's calmer, and we're getting along better, and because there's that stability, that foundation of home is here. So.
Last time we talked, you said occasionally you'll still have volunteers coming by and helping out.
Yep. The LDS church, they have a ward that's a Billings ward, but it's really Belfry, and so on Monday nights they come and help different families in town. So like the last 2 or 3 weeks they've been helping other families, because we're kind of at a stasis point where we can't really do a whole lot until we get insulation in. But they're going to come over tomorrow and help get the rest of the floorboards up so that we can get the insulation underneath the floorboards in. So.
Floorboards.
They're
back in the house.
In
the
boys'
boys'
room,
room,
and
the
what
PC
will
room.
be Allie's room. Those are the only rooms we've got to get up.
Yeah.
So.
When the insulation's in, were you just going to lay those boards back in or get new flooring?
Well, those are subfloors, so those will go down and get re-nailed, and then we'll put flooring of some sort over it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But right now, the addition, we have found so many things wrong with this house. There were problems with the the wiring. There was problems with the plumbing. There was some like could be dangerous things.
We're making some serious changes in the plumbing
So it's
because the plumbing, they had copper combined with PEX combined with something else and I was like, okay, we need to standardize everything in here, please.
Yeah, I just had kind of a
But-
Frankenstein situation.
well, and the wiring is 50s, so it's not really grounded, and so we're gonna take the time and rewire
Do it
it.
right.
So, and we know how to do wiring, so that's not a big deal. But whenever they put the addition in, they put the floor joists over dirt, and then had vents directly outside. So there was no insulation in the flooring at all. So we're going to get some insulation in, and that should help a lot. And then we got a new energy efficient furnace, so that'll be nice.
And
So this is with no heat in this room and no insulation. So this room is pretty good. I like this.
Yeah, this room, they overkilled it, let's put it that way. Because that's insulation, then they put that type of insulation over it, and then they put the drywall over that. And I was like, yeah, this room gets really toasty warm
In the winter.
during the winter.
Strip of insulation is supposed to be stapled, and I've got walls that are this wide, and if it's not
There's a
done
lot of
right, you get a
random-
lot of air leakage and temperature leakage. So it's going to be one of those long-term investments that we're doing for that, is to get the insulation done, because I can do drywall. I mean, it's not fun, but I can do it.
Yeah. And just lots of mud, just drywall and mud and painting. Scraping. Some
Scraping.
glue off there, but yeah.
So this used to have a closet, so we have to.
This whole thing was a closet, and now that it's out, it's actually expanded it a little bigger, and it's like, oh, this is nice.
is there a cap on how much FEMA will reimburse you?
Yes. I don't know. I can't remember, but I think it's everything, like just the housing and content, I think is a maximum of 80. But you have to prove a lot of paperwork to do that, to get that much. So I'm hoping that we'll get an extra $5,000 or $6,000.
Did any FEMA agents come through and inspect everything?
Yeah. Not
Twice.
once, but twice.
Oh.
Yep.
Because of the fraud.
That's right.
Yeah, the fraud was fun to say the least.
Took us about 3 weeks to get the first FEMA
That was a mess.
person out to look at it, and then it took like another month and a half before the second one came through. So we were in Oregon when the second account got set up, so we could bypass the fraud stuff. So
Yeah, I don't think we weren't the only ones affected by that.
there were 5 families here in Fromberg that were affected by it. I don't know how many in Red Lodge, but
Yeah, that's one of the questions we have for FEMA is just how bad the fraud was, because we spoke to 4 families 2 weeks ago when we first stopped by, and both y'all and one other family said that
there
they've
were
been-
5 in Fromberg, which Fromberg is not a large community, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how much there was in Red Lodge, because I know Tina was helping us with the fraud stuff here. So.
And then as far as submitting paperwork to FEMA for compensation,
So what you do is you write a letter
Yeah.
saying, I appeal the decision that you've already given us enough money, and here is my documentation for it. You can only upload 5 megabits at a time. So if you have pictures, like I've got 3 gigs of pictures, but or you can fax it or mail it, but then it takes 2 to 3 weeks. But you can only upload 5 megs at a time. So that's like 1 picture, 2 pictures, and
It's a
so
long time
I've
consuming.
been inserting them into documents and then printing them as PDFs, because then they're smaller, and then uploading them, and it's just like, and they all have to have your case number, your last four of your social, the date, a signature, the disaster number, and it's just like. So the day-to-day
Yeah.
challenges are mainly cooking.
Mm.
So, but like tonight we're doing brats and mac and cheese. So if we have to, we'll do an electric skillet, or we can hook up the grill, because we have propane tanks with propane in them now.
Just need to scrub the grates and all, and
Mhm.
we'll be good.
So it's kind of like glamping,
Mm.
only long term.
I haven't heard of that term in a while.
Yeah. So, but we have indoor plumbing. So I mean, we have a bathroom.
We have a working shower. Yes, including hot water.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be amazed at how much civilization and how much feeling like you belong and are human is just having your own hot shower